How's it going, everyone? Paul with Adaptable Survival. In today's video, let's look at a basic survival kit I made up off of stuff from Temu. All right, so everything that I have in this tough possum, why am I spacing on the Shackleton EDC satchel, is stuff that I got off of Temu, not ordering from Australia. So like this water bottle I got off of Temu. Everything that I've got inside of this satchel is cost me about $100, and I will explain that towards the end of the video. I will we'll knock off the pricing as we go through each item. Obviously you can't get this bag off of Temu, excuse me, but I wanted to represent how small of a package a basic survival kit can fit in something this size. Let me close this back up. So as you can see, this isn't huge by any means. If you're talking in a day pack, all this stuff will take up what, half of a day pack, allowing you to put extra insulation, food, things like that. This kit here is just the bare minimum. This isn't any kind of insulation, this isn't any kind of food. This is all things to keep you alive for 72 hours, maybe longer, depending on the situation. So let me bring the camera in here and we'll start working our way through this and knocking out the pricing. So got it down here. As I said, you aren't going to get this satchel off of Temu. There are packs that I seen on Temu. They're just questionable quality for what I would personally want, so I didn't go ahead and order any of those. Also, my goal was to get the final price at around $100. And with everything that I'm going to show you in this video, we will hit pretty damn close to that. So starting off on the outside of the satchel, you do have two slim pockets, great for folding saws or knives. We will do a full video on the Shackleton satchel down the road, but we'll start off with the knife. So this knife, it is called an Hobby Full Tang D2 camping knife. So as we can see, I mean, this is I think this was 25 bucks. I'll read off the exact price here in a minute. I mean, you got a 90-degree spine. That knife is nice and thick, so it's gonna be able to withstand any kind of survival tasks. You got a little landing here. I probably wouldn't keep that on myself. Got this in a belt loop, a decent leather sheath, but this cost $25.48. Now the folding saw, which I have on the other side here, is just a small 6-inch folding saw. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just large enough to process wood. The locking mechanism on this one is a little bit different. So typically when you would open up a folding saw like this will lock out, but this one doesn't. You actually have to come through and press this top of that button down, and that'll lock it in place. Same thing when you go to close it up. If you lock that closed, this isn't coming back open. So price on that folding saw was $5.48. So for a decent folding saw, now I'm not sure if that folding saw blade is carbon steel, but for just a small folding saw that can process wood for fires, projects, that's more than sufficient. You don't need something crazily overly built. So let's dive into this main compartment. Well, I'll talk about this water bottle. So this is about a 64, let me look. This is almost 68 ounces. So you're about 2 liters of water in here. So you have, as I pull a Fumblerooski, you do have a little pouch here that I could put aqua tabs, whatever. Shoulder strap to carry it, little handle on the side, belt loop if you chose to carry it. And this will actually just Velcro open. Just a cheap, carrying sleeve, nothing fancy there. But this is a big 2-liter water bottle. Now, I've seen a lot of debate on whether you should carry a plastic water bottle or not. But my thought process is, if I have a way to carry 2 liters of water and at least one way to boil a liter of water, then why wouldn't I carry this? And we will dive into more of the containers here in a minute. Get that off to the side here. Let's pop this open. Now, you can see I got this thing stuffed full, all sorts of stuff. So, got a red shamag. I can use this as a waypoint or a signal panel. I do have a secondary, just like a tan khaki shamag in here. This one I would probably use more so for, filtering water, catching a lot of that bigger debris. So for the 2 shamags, the red one cost me $2.97 and the khaki was $3.47. So for both of them, what, $7.50? I did get an El Cheapo poncho in a camel variant. Now, I haven't messed around with this a ton yet. I may even do a separate video on this. But, just something, a piece of rain gear to get out of the weather, or to use as a makeshift shelter. But we will talk about a little more shelter options the more we get into this pack here. But for this poncho, it cost me $11.39. Before we dive into some of these utility pouches, so I have a cup and I have a water bottle. I also do have a lid for this cup. So this is about a 500 milliliter cup. So I do have a little cover for that. And this is about 34 ounces, 1,000 milliliters. So I can boil a liter of water, have something to drink out of, as well as something to store in. So with this combination here, I have 3 different containers. The bottle itself cost me $12.48. The cup cost me $11.98. So for about, 25, 30 bucks, I have a cup, bottle, and then you throw in the extra larger bottle here. What are we looking at? About 40 bucks all together for those 3 containers. And I can carry at least 3 liters of water. So more than efficient for, if you're out for the day, if longer, you're covered as well. I do have a little compass here. Now this is just a little knockoff of a Suntu MC2. So you got the mag lens, got the mirror, got the movable bezel. I haven't checked the accuracy of this compass yet, but we will dive into that in a future video. For this compass, this cost me $8.78. So if this turns out to be a halfway decent compass, I mean, hell, that's super cheap to get into a compass, because an MC2 is going to cost you in the neighborhood 50 plus bucks. What else I got floating around in here? I think that's it for the back panel I have in here. Let me pull out these other 2 pouches here. So I did get 2 like ditty bags here. Get that bug off there. So the smaller, the medium sized pouch was $5.98. This larger pouch was $7.48. Now I like to organize my kit into different little pouches like this so I can easily grab different things that I'm going to need. So we'll dive into this bigger one, which I basically have this set up as a shelter kit. So to keep this nice and compact, I got 5 emergency Mylar blankets. Now these things aren't going to hold up in the long term, but a short-term emergency, just as the name entails, an emergency blanket, they will make do. I can use this to line the tarp I have to give me a reflective surface on my tarp. I can use 2 of these, tape them together to make a makeshift browse bed, sleeping bag. If I needed to, especially with it being fall here, I could put a bunch of leaves in there and create a little bit of a mattress. I did get 10 tent stakes. Now those 5 emergency blankets, Let me see here. Cost me $5.48, so about $1 a piece, $1.10. Now I got 10 of these small red tent stakes. Now I got plastic ones because emergency I could set one on fire if I really needed to, but it keeps the weight down. Nice little, almost like a shepherd hook design. Super simple. You plug that into the ground. I'm not spending a lot of time creating those off the landscape, and those 10 plastic tent stakes cost me $2.76. I did get 100 feet of paracord, and this costed me, let's see, $5.08. So not much more different than if you went to Walmart and grabbed some. The thing I will say with this is this seems, the outer sheath at least seems a little bit more loose than your typical paracord. So my one worry with this particular roll is this catching a lot of stuff, snagging, and then starting to kind of unravel. But I do have 100 feet of cordage there. The last thing I have in here is an orange tarp. Now it does have a little section that is gray, so does the main tarp itself. Let me pull this out here. Not sure if we'll be able to see that gray part, but this also has a couple of those tent stakes. So altogether I have 14 tent stakes. So if I were to break one, had to use one for fires, I do have a few backups just in case. This orange tarp works as a signal panel. The dimensions on this tarp is about 7 by 7, so more than big enough for me if I were to set this up so I could get some shelter. That tarp costed me $6.18. Now, do I expect that tarp to last me forever? No, I will expect that to break down at some point, but it gives me a nice compact kit to carry everything that I may need in. So that was it for that shelter pouch. Now, this last smaller ditty bag here, I have a few different odds and ends, fire starting headlamp, stuff like that. So this headlamp, they say it's 1200 lumens. I'm not completely sold on that being the case, but regardless, plenty bright enough for what we need. Go blindy there real quick. And so if I needed a headlamp, more than simple enough. And this is just rechargeable by USB. And I think I have the cable laying around somewhere. I may have forgot that at home, but not worried about that today. In this little burlap sack here, I do have a little 4-inch ferro rod with a striker. So I'm not relying on my knife or my saw blade to strike this. I can just use the striker and always have that handy. And this is one of those hexagon style ferro rods. The thing with this one that's odd is there's 2 lanyard holds. I don't understand why they did that, but needless to say, it will start a fire. Let's scrape a little bit of this off here. Try not to set all my stuff on fire. So that throws pretty good sparks. So I wouldn't be too concerned with starting a fire with this. So that headlamp, what did that cost me? $4.99, so $5. This, I would say about a 4-inch ferro rod cost me $7.48. So not super expensive, lots of capabilities there. Then I did buy 2 magnifying lens. One that's more of just like a metal inspecting one, mainly because I was curious to see if I could get a fire going with this, because this is a 30 power, so it's a little overcast, so I can't really do a solar fire today, but I will be testing that out. And then I have one of these bigger folding mag lenses. So I have 2 different mag lenses that I'm going to try out, see if either of them are either viable to start a fire. And then the last thing I have in here is just an SAK. Now this one, what those mag lenses, they costed me, the metal one was $3.59, that folding one was $1.97, and then this SAK was $4.98. So, but this has bottle opener, a little blade on it, little janky saw, which I don't think that would cut worth a damn, to be completely honest with you. but they do have a little bit beefier saw in here. Let's see what else tools we got. Pair of scissors are in here, bottle opener, all the typical stuff that you'll find on the SAK is on this one here as well. So that's everything that I bought off of Temu to set up a basic survival kit. So all of this stuff that I bought off Temu, god damn, I keep saying Emu, off of Temu cost me $150.28. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that it came out to be about $100. So with Temu, what I found out is they're always running some sort of special, some sort of coupon to get you to buy more. So I started looking on there just because I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of talk about Temu online. Started digging around on there, finding some survival stuff. A lot of the same stuff you can find on AliExpress and Alibaba. Those are Chinese manufacturing apps, storefronts, where you could buy a lot of this stuff if you're a business. A lot of businesses have here in the United States and slap their logo on this stuff. But I hopped on Temu to see what kind of kit I could put together for about $100. Like I said, I spent about $150, but I hit a threshold where they gave me a $40 off coupon, so it knocked off $40. At the end, I was paying about $120 once you factored in shipping and taxes. So everything I have here is more than enough to supply me with water, supply me with shelter, give me tools to process wood, process projects, headlamp to navigate, compass to navigate, cordage to set up that shelter, a poncho for some rain gear. Now, I'm not saying this stuff is the greatest stuff I've ever had or the greatest stuff that I own, but I got this so I can use this for 2 upcoming classes I have. Next week I'll be in Indiana teaching with Tony Powers at an event in Indianapolis, and a couple weeks later I'll be down at Jake Trent's property with Buckeye Bushcraft teaching a course with him and Tony as well. And this is going to make up the majority of the kit, other than like sleeping gear obviously, but this is going to be the stuff I'm going to use during those classes to teach and see how viable these tools really are once I get them out in the field. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've used Temu to pick up anything. I picked up a few other things from Temu, so I'll be bringing those to some videos. I look forward to seeing if you have had good, bad, or indifferent experiences with Temu. So far, the only hesitation I have with Temu is it's going to take a bit because that stuff gets shipped over from China, and then from a distributor here, it gets sent to you. But we'll see how this stuff turns out in the long run. Do me a favor, hit like, share, and subscribe. That gets more eyes on the community that we're building here. Helps bring those people in so we can grow our knowledge base and learn together and grow together. As always, this has been Paul with Adaptable Survival. Adapt your mind, your body, and your gear.